I am as old as the earth. My essence has existed since the beginning of time, born in frigid blackness, forged by scorching hot flame. I am steel. Cold, merciless, unforgiving. I have no heart. I have no soul. And you mortals cannot conquer me. Here I stand tall and erect, and brave men quiver and fall at my feet. I will rip your skin, tear your flesh, spill your blood, scar your very souls.
Samoa Joe, as much as you want to kick my ass, I want to kick your ass even more.
You caused me tonight. I return it tenfold. You need no remorse. I'll leave my face.
At TNA Lockdown, Team Cage leaves Team Tomko for dead.
He's gonna kill you. Joe is gonna kill you. I am the harbinger of hell, the devourer of dreams. Domino's God. Joe is gonna kill. With you. Oh, it's real. Amen.
Domino's gracias. En nombre del Padre, y Filii, y Spiritus Sanctus. Amen.
Be afraid. Be very afraid. God have mercy on their soul.
Wow. Amazing.
That was one hell of a video package.
Yeah. Welcome everyone to Spot Callers. I am Justin here with Cyrus. And if you didn't hear, if you didn't know, if you didn't see it just now, we are reviewing TNA Lockdown 2008. What an excellent. There's one thing that I can say about TNA. They always had dope ass intros and video packages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that video package was really good. The video package throughout like the pay-per-view are really nice as well, even for like matches and feuds that were just
whatever, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, welcome back to the show, everybody. If you follow Cyrus and I on Twitter,
long time coming.
I fell off a bit. I did fall off a bit. I'm sorry, guys. I got caught up in Thanksgiving and Power Rangers and it was my fault. It was definitely my fault. Okay, I'm the bastard for not having this out in November. But hey, we are here in December, man. It's been a crazy year.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy year, man.
It's been absolutely insane, especially just like, the way Thanksgiving has turned out this year, where hopefully y'all didn't go see nobody. I didn't see nobody, just me and my mom. Hopefully the listeners did the same. Probably not, but it is what it is. And and as we were waiting to do this episode, I came up with this crazy theory that Spot Callers is usually always like kind of like right, where whenever we do an episode, it's always culturally relevant to what's going on in wrestling today. So we were going to do this in November, and then they have a match that is very similar to War Games.
Mm-hmm. And
now, even though we miss War Games, Impact is kind of relevant again with Kenny Omega going over.
It's not even kind of. Everyone is pretending like it is the hottest ticket in town now. So there we go.
So we're just always right on the mark.
Yeah, right on time with everything. And of course, this is coming at the tail end. In fact, I think today is the last day of the Impact Plus membership that we bought originally.
That we bought like 2 months ago.
Yeah, and it was sapping money out of me every month while I waited for to do this show. But we are here now, live on Spot Callers, and now we're gonna get into the show. Let's get into Lockdown. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So live from Lowell, Massachusetts. They keep saying Boston. I do not know why. It's not Boston. Well, let's see.
How far it is.
Yeah, let's say Lowell, Massachusetts. Distance. Hold on. Distance from Boston. Let's see if it's even fair.
Watch it be like 5 miles away.
47 minutes. It's 30 miles away. So they were 30 miles. They were about 30 miles away from Boston and Louisville. I don't know. Maybe all the Boston people who listen could let us know if that's even comparable or even fair to say that you're technically in Boston. I don't think so, but who knows? You know what I'm saying? Who knows what people think? But I mean, essentially, not even close. But we open with Mike Tenay inside of the cage, asking, "Will Samoa Joe retire?" And of course, that video package that we played at the top of the show. Then we had Don West and Jeremy Borash in the crowd with the Hillbillies. This made me cringe when I watched it.
With the Hillbillies.
It made me cringe when I watched it, knowing how this year has gone. I was like, "Ooh, put a mask on." I was like, "Oh, don't do that."
Right? Oh my God. My first, like, as soon as I watched the show and I just saw a crowd of people, I was just like, wow, you remember crowds? Like, I hate this year because when I watch anything, even of old, I'm just like, man, y'all so close together.
Yeah, y'all are way too close together. Yeah, y'all need to move out the way. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just crazy. We're gonna be watching these shows from the past, and we're gonna be, feeling certain types of ways about things that are happening, and it's just the nature of everything that's been going on. So, but yeah, they're in the crowd, and it leads us to our first match, the X Division title match between Curryman, Sanjay Dutt, Johnny Devine, Consequences Creed, and Black Machismo, Jay Lethal. It's an X Division match. Jay Lethal's a champion. Of course, he's in his Black Machismo gimmick, which of course was the Macho Man gimmick. Did you know about this before the show?
Yes, I knew about his Macho Man gimmick because everybody just kind of says like Jay Lethal doesn't really have his character outside of just being a fake Macho Man Randy Savage, and I was just like, well, you see it here, and he still does a lot of the Macho Man stuff, and if Macho Man is one of his favorites, then it's whatever. I don't think that's like truly a slight to his wrestling ability. Yeah, no, he's absolutely one of the best who stayed and stuck with ROH to all the way up to this point. Christopher Daniels, like just a background on a couple people in here. Christopher Daniels is Curryman here. Of course, he was at the time. Yes, that's Christopher Daniels. You can tell. I guess you thought that the cross on his titties was real. When I saw Curryman, my first thing was just like big racist energy.
Oh, absolutely, big racist. But I mean, it got over in New Japan. He was pretty big out there at the time. Of course, Consequences Creed is, as we all know, Xavier Woods today in the WWE. And Sanjay Dutt actually works for WWE now as well. He's one of the backstage producers on shows. I can't remember if it was NXT or 205 Live, but one of those he's a producer for.
Good bunch of people. I wasn't really high when I first saw Sanjay Dutt. I believe, what was it? Death Before Dishonor? Was that the ROH show we saw when he was against Daniel Bryan?
Yeah, I think it might have been.
I wasn't a big fan of that, but here I thought he did like some really cool stuff alongside Jay Lethal here. I don't know if they were ever a true tag team at some point, but they were doing some real innovative shit that I don't really see anymore.
Yeah, they were absolutely, at the time of this, they were teamed up together. Obviously, you could tell. I wasn't sure if it was this show or the coming up in the future, what happened to them later on, but I'll get to that after the match is over. Consequences Creed looks like a child. This is only his second match in TNA.
This is his second match in Impact, but I will say he is explosive in this shit. Like he is hungry. He's trying to prove himself. In my notes, I said he has like Kenny Omega levels of explosiveness in this match. Like he was really in that shit.
Yeah, he's very crisp as a worker as well. I thought that he really shined here, as for as green as he was, and putting him in this position. And of course, I think we buried the lead of Lockdown. In case anyone didn't know, Lockdown is kind of like TNA's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, except it's all cage matches. Every single match is a cage match. Tag matches, weapons matches, all of that it happens in a cage. So this X Division match is in a cage. So there are a lot of rules here. But in this particular cage match, you have to you have to pin or eliminate everyone until it's down to 2, and then it turns into a regular cage match.
Which is, I guess, I don't like the secondary rules that are in a lot of these matches, but it flowed well.
It's TNA hat on top of a hat theory. They do that all the time. It's a fast pace to start with Johnny Devine eliminating Sanjay Dutt, which to me, again, if you know what happens in the storyline later, you're kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop there. But Johnny Devine, of course, the only heel in this match. So, of course, he does a lot of heel stuff here.
Yeah.
Creed is super crisp in this match. I thought he was again, even his finish and everything. A lot of the moves that he uses today, he looked way, way more in tune than what you would think of from somebody in their second match and just a couple years into the business.
And knowing that this is his second match, he was destined for greatness, because man, he is he's not green. He is working there like a veteran. I thought he was doing some really good shit in there, and that was really cool to see. And that is kind of just a lot of my assessments on wrestlers on Spot Callers is just it's great to see how they're started, and this is probably one of the greatest starts.
Absolutely. Yeah, I thought it was really, really good. Final segment here, of course, everyone gets eliminated, and it's down to Divine and Lethal. Divine tapes Lethal to the turnbuckle. Dutt helps cut him free, and Jay Lethal jumps out of the cage. I said, no turn tonight. I thought it was this show. Of course, Sanjay Dutt turns on Jay Lethal a little bit later down the line. But I gave this a 3 stars. I thought it was a really solid show to start, a solid start to the show, as the X Division usually does.
Yeah, I gave it 3.5. I really did like this match. Spot to spot was really great. Not everybody in here was a really good worker. This is not the period of Impact where it's really weird. Yeah. It's really good in-ring work around this period of time.
After this, we have Frank Trigg giving his thoughts on the Angle and Joe match, hammering home on how important this match is. Frank Trigg has zero faith in Samoa Joe throughout this whole night. He is Joe is going to get his ass beat. He is not going to win. He's not going to be able to do it. I was at least kind of give him a little bit of something. He was like, no, I've seen him train. He's ass.
Yeah. And honestly, Samoa Joe versus a gold medal Olympian, I would be it was straight hands? Probably not. He's keeping it real.
So after this, we get a video package between. I thought it was probably the worst video package of the night, but Kip James, of course, the former badass Billy Gunn, talking about his match with BG James, and that is, of course, Road Dogg Jesse James. That's not Kip's name. I think I made a mistake.
I believe. Man, it's been so long since I watched the show.
Shut up. Whatever. It's
Kip something, right? It's his first name.
Yeah. I thought I was wilding. Because I was like, there's no way that they gave there's no way they gave these motherfuckers the same last name. They actually did. So Kip, I overthought myself. So Kip James is in front of a tiger, of course, matching this year as well. As Cyrus said earlier, we always call the shots here. Tiger King earlier this year, and Kip James in front of Tiger to end the year, saying that he is a tiger in the cage, and he's gonna feed on BG James, and feeds the tiger. BG James, of course, giving another promo. I thought it was a pretty good promo there in the video package, ending it off, leading to BG James versus Kip James. This is a former besties, now enemies thing that we've seen before. Of course, the reason this happened was during the Feast or Fired gimmick. BG had basically pulled out a tag team title championship situation, and he gave it to his father, who he wanted to win the titles with. Kip took offense to this and turned on both of them, and that led us to this match.
What a silly reason, but okay. I thought the match was okay, but I'm not too high on it though.
Not at all. The thing about it is that these two are better as a tag team, and they don't work well as a singles. I think that there was a lot of old school stuff here. These are two very old school wrestlers. And there's no nonsense. There's no high spots or anything like that. It was
Yeah.
basically Kip taking it to BG for most of the match. And then, in the end, you get the babyface spot against BG James, who, like, I think is a pretty good babyface, but, like, he just works so much better as the hot tag, or not the hot tag, but the face in peril, leading to Kip coming in as the hot tag.
Yeah, that's why I thought the match was just like, it was A-okay. Like, they're like good in the ring, like, mat wrestling and, not doing high flying stuff. But I definitely thought this slowed down the momentum of the pay-per-view after you have that super explosive start. So yeah, it's okay. Like, I'll give it a 3.
You gave it a 3. Wow. I gave it significantly low. I gave it about a 1. It was really underwhelming.
Really? Man.
I thought for all of the hype, they didn't really use the cage that much in this match.
Yeah. This is the point where the cage should have went back up.
It was completely regular. I think that Kip is a better seller than BG as well. I thought that BG came off to me as, like, very, like, underselling a lot of stuff that was happening. He won. BG won after a roll up in a really plodding match that I guess just wasn't as brutal as they advertised it to be. I gave it a 1, in fact. So I wasn't happy with it.
Do you know if they had a second match after this?
I believe that they do. I'm not sure if there was a gimmick tied to it. I cannot remember. I cannot remember if they did. I was, like, in and out of Impact in this year. I only kind of messed with the bigger, like the bigger thing, like the Sting stuff and stuff like that. I would be into that, but really not much after that. They had, like, the Voodoo Kin Mafia thing, which was really silly. But I think that hold on, reading it now. I think they do. Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's probably this is like the teaser before then they do the big match that is actually what you would have wanted, but for not doing it within a cage is kind of silly. I do agree there.
Yeah, I just thought that it wasn't, just wasn't really it for me. And actually, you know what? Kip went on to declare himself the megastar, an arrogant gimmick similar to the one gimmick from WWF, and he stopped making appearances on Impact until April 24th when he was attacked by Matt Morgan for no reason. So
Matt Morgan killing.
Yeah, not much, not much going on there with one BG or BG James and Kip James. After the match, he clotheslines BG. And we get to the next thing, the next backstage with Kurt Angle speaking. The TNA title is really dope looking. I thought it was
it's really cool. Now, I think this belt looks infinitely better than the Sting or Jeff Hardy belt that was on the last show. Yeah. when you look at them side by side, okay, yeah, this belt is kind of terrible.
Yeah, this belt is definitely it was big to a point where you couldn't really see what was on it, like as far as the type and all the stuff that was emblazoned on it. But I thought the design works for me, and it looks big and important, and that's what I think all world championship should look like. He name drops WWE and says that whoever they brought in front of him, he defeated. He talks about seeing Samoa Joe for the first time and knowing that he had to defeat him, and he cannot be the very best champion if he doesn't defeat Joe. Really good promo by Kurt Angle here.
Yeah. I think the promos that lead up into the main event are, like, really, really great. And I believe we're going to get into another one soon.
Yes, we are. This leads us to, I was waiting for this one, Cuffed in the Cage. A lot of people here. One thing you will notice that there are a lot of multi-man matches in this show. They had everybody on the show. It also shows you just how big the roster was in TNA at the time.
Oh my God. Right? Especially for the women?
Yeah, for a show that had 1 hour on like, I think, an off day, like the show Explosion, and then the actual TV was like 2 hours. A lot of people on these shows. They got a lot of people in. So this was against the Rock and Raven faction, which was Lance Hoyt and Jimmy Rave versus Kaz and Eric Young, versus Black Rain and Relic versus the Motor City Machine Guns versus LAX versus Scott Steiner and Lil Petey Williams. A lot of guys. I said
a whole lot.
So in order to win, you have to handcuff your opponents to the cage in order to win. That is it. No pinfall, no submission. Just handcuff them and you win.
Yeah, you by the tone, you already know what we going. This is getting that low rating, baby.
Jimmy Rave and Lance Hoyt have a STD gimmick showing you just how far Lance Hoyt has come in the last 10 years.
Now he has I don't buy the new console gimmick now.
I'm broke. So we had a backstage altercation where Relic and Rain beat down Eric Young before the match. In the backstage area, of course, Eric Young, the lovable kind of like I won't say Eugene because that was just a offensive character in itself. And WWF, he was kind of like the
Hurricane. Would the comparison be Hurricane?
Yeah, Hurricane at the time. Yeah. Eric Young was doing a Super Eric gimmick where he would go backstage and dress as a superhero in order to defeat people. He'd do the whole Hulk Hogan thing and be invulnerable to attacks. All that good stuff. So in order to set up a lot of, I'd say a lot of adversity for his tag team partner, Kaz, they took him out before the match started. And we had everyone else come in. I got to say, Homicide is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. LAX is one of the most over tag teams in this company at the time. You can tell in this match, and they had shit all to do in this match.
It seems to be a trend that LAX always gets the short end of the stick, even to this day.
Yeah, it really
is absolutely ridiculous.
It really sucks, man. Like it's really bad, and they eventually do end up getting their just due a couple months later. I'll get to that after we talk about this match. It just sucks that they're kind of in a holding pattern, for everything that was happening with Super Eric and Kaz and AJ Styles and Tomko. But here we have a lot of stuff going on. Scott Steiner and Lil Petey getting it off in the beginning. Scott Steiner looked great here in the match. He was very crisp.
Yeah. When I heard Scott Steiner, I was just like, oh man, are we gonna get the dude that did the promo, the sacrifice promo, or old school WCW, even older than that, Scott Steiner, and we got this Scott Steiner of old.
You got to mix of both. I think promo wise, he was still the same guy. But
he didn't cut a promo here, so.
Well, did you notice that they were bleeping him? He was cussing the whole time coming down the ramp.
Oh shit! I didn't notice that.
Yeah, he was cussing the absolute whole time. He was cussing. They were bleeping out a lot of stuff. The other teams actually team up on Steiner and handcuff him because he was way too much of a problem. AKA, he was probably winded after handing out 6 suplexes in a row. So they got him out of there very quickly. He was eliminated, and Petey Williams, he gets eliminated not too long after when Eric Young returns from the back. The rules of this is so stupid because it takes away a lot of what you could do. It turns into a big clusterfuck. And I thought that it was hard to take matches for this because just a lot of stuff was happening. People were getting handcuffed and I was missing it because the camera wasn't catching it. It was just a lot of stuff.
Very bad directing there.
There was a really cool spot with with Hernandez doing the Cracker Jack into the cage, which looked absolutely
that shit looked painful as hell, son.
It was the best spot of the match to me. And then you had Kaz, who was still in the match, doing a sloppy flux capacitor off of the cage. I thought
that looks so terrible.
It was literally him just doing like a backflip and being like, "Okay, just go down as fast as you can."
And they hyped it up big, and I was just like, that looked really terrible.
Yeah, I mean, and in between all of this, the Motor City Machine Guns also get handcuffed and eliminated from the match. I thought John West was earning his motherfucking check in this match. He was going crazy the whole match from the bell to the end.
Yeah, he was more excited than me, and you know what? He really did sell that match, but this match, just the handcuff thing really took me out of it. Like, I don't think that stuff is particularly great.
Yeah. Then we have Super Eric come out and proceed.
This is where I tuned out.
Yeah, he nerfed everyone in the match. He finessed Relic into getting handcuffed. and winning the match. One thing I can say though, Cyrus, he was really over when he came back out as Super Eric.
I heard that pop. That pop is what was going around Twitter recently? Kevin Owens coming out for War Games, like it was that level.
Yes, it was. It really was. Like people were waiting for Super Eric. They were really really excited, and when they got what they wanted, they did not disappoint. Super Eric wins the match and gets a title shot for the tag championships. I give this I gave this 2 stars. It was just there for me. It was just a lot of shit going on.
Okay, I gave it 2 1/4.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
So after this, Kaz and Eric would win the titles from AJ and Tomko, but get this, Cyrus, they had to forfeit it because Eric wouldn't admit that he was Super Eric. He wouldn't give up his secret identity.
Next match, please. Or next segment.
There's a good thing about it. LAX would win the titles, the vacant titles, after the Deuces Wild tournament, which was absolutely insane. It involved a lot of people drawing names from a hat about their tag team partners. It was just crazy. Read up on it one day when you get a chance. It's one of the worst things they've ever done. Samoa Joe's family speaks next. Pretty good promo from them. They can really talk. It's so funny that like Joe's family also doesn't look like the Rock's family, and all those Samoans are like, they run the business. And it's so funny that like Samoa Joe's family like is completely like away from all of that.
They look. I actually really, really enjoyed this interview segment with Joe's family because, whenever Samoans and, the Rock family, as you were just saying, like, it's always like a big deal. Like, you should be knowing these people, like you should be knowing these legends, like, but when you see Samoa Joe's family, it really just seems like it's just regular people, like you see like a humble beginning just looking at them. And Joe's dad cuts a really good promo, even though he's just saying like he believes in his son and all that. Like it was just very simple and straight to the point. He was just showing his support, and I thought that was really great.
Next up, we have in my notes, the first thing I say is this might be smelly. We have Awesome Kong and Raisha Saeed versus ODB and Gail Kim.
Wait. Did we not talk about the reverse battle royale steel cage match?
Oh my God, did we?
Did we skip that?
There's no way we did. There's no way. I have notes on it. Oh my God, we did. We did. I'm sorry. My mind went straight to. There's something about this where my mind went straight from the X Division match straight to BG.
Yeah.
And
no, honestly, the match is not that great. And I don't remember any faces. But I'm like, there's a women's match that we're missing, right?
Let's quickly go to the Queen of the Cage match. I'm so sorry. This is a reverse battle royal. Christy Hemme versus Salinas versus Jacqueline Moore versus Tracy Brooks versus Angelina Love versus Velvet Sky versus Raka Khan versus Roxy Laveau. First thing on my notes was, oh no. Salinas comes out and does a crazy ass dance. I made sure to put that in my notes. This was contested under the reverse cage match rules, meaning that the match does not start until 2 people enter into the ring. Whoever gets a title shot, whoever wins gets a title shot against Awesome Kong. It was a really quick match. There wasn't really much to say. Roxy got into the ring fairly quickly, and Angelina Love followed up. It was a really quick little match they had afterward with Roxy doing the voodoo drop on Angelina for the win. So.
Okay. Mark must have got a hand in my notes here, but it was just all my notes say is there's a lot of bad bitches here. That's all my notes say. And I couldn't, there was a lot of people, but who was the lady that had the purple pants? Because I thought she was going crazy in there. I think that might have been Roxy.
Roxy Laveau, yeah.
Yeah, she was doing some really good stuff in that match. I thought she was a really solid worker. That's all I have.
She was outworking a lot of people in that match. But I feel as though like, the level of talent, it kind of fluctuates where you had, you had a match with all of these talent here, but then you had Gail Kim and ODB, who in my opinion were like the top 2 in the company at the time, were in another match at the time. So, you had to kind of stretch it out as much as you could.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry about that. Let's go right back to Gail Kim and ODB versus Awesome Kong and Raisha Saeed. Raisha Saeed, who was playing what could you say, like a Middle Eastern gimmick. She was actually cheerleader Melissa. I'm not sure if you were ever familiar with her from the Indies. The optics of Raisha wrestling in the Veil is pretty hilarious. I'm not gonna lie.
I think in my notes I was just like, wow, surprisingly respectful. I thought they're gonna have her take it off or something.
Again, another quick match. A lot of big spots. Really, really early. Gail, of course, plays the face in peril, waiting for ODB.
No way. Cheerleader Melissa was Mary Posa in Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she's great, but she's like not great in this match.
Well, I think that's just by proxy of her having to play this fucking manager character that wasn't really allowed to wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
She had to be like terrible, and I just didn't think that was the best use of cheerleader Melissa's time. But she, of course, is a great talent, and was one of like the pioneers in the indies of women's wrestling. Gail Kim, Rana off the cage. What you think about that?
Ouch. As an individual that has had spinal surgery, ouch. Every time I see like a back bump like that, I just like shiver a bit.
Well, I mean, it is. Gail Kim was known to go crazy like that.
Mm-hmm.
She was known to do that, and she absolutely went off in matches like this, and also like her match with Awesome Kong. She had a great series with matches against Awesome Kong, who of course was like the big monster heel at the time. Like she was crazy, but in this you had to, she kind of had to like play background here. Awesome Kong did, and really kind of give way for Aisha to finally get her just dues. The finish of the match comes with Raisha getting in the way of a back fist, leading to Kong being taken out by ODB, and Raisha taking the splash from ODB as well for the win. I give it 2 stars. I thought it was fine. It was all right.
Yeah, it was just about 2 stars. It's okay.
After this, we had a Karen Angle promo. I'm not sure how far they were into their marital issues. Of course, we watched the Victory Road where they were already divorced and she was already remarried to Jeff Jarrett. So I'd have to imagine it was pretty far in. But it was a pretty good promo, I thought.
Yeah, and they might have been deep into it because Kurt Angle is like, he doesn't. Well, we'll talk about it in the match, but he doesn't want to get distracted. So I think they're kind of like very deep into it. I thought it was an okay promo. Of all the promos that kind of talk about this match, I really did like the Joe family one the best. Yeah,
it really was good. As far as like the promos between the people that their loved ones, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Yeah, it was pretty good. Next up, we have a video package for the Robert Roode and Booker T promo. I put in my notes, it's the thinly veiled racism for me.
My notes, are they going to take it there?
Sharmell gets jawed by Rude, punched in the face, and that leads us to this grudge match between these two, or these 4, I'm sorry. And that leads us to another tag match, mixed tag match this time. Booker T and Sharmell versus Robert Roode and Peyton Banks. The Booker T remix, the TNA remix, is fucking hilarious.
Mm-hmm. This match is kind of insane.
They didn't even try with that remix, but Booker T was still crisp here. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, people forget how really good he is in the ring because of all the jokes and stuff that he does. Mm-hmm. But he was going off, and Robert Roode was really, really good in here in this match as well.
Yeah, the second Impact show that we've seen, and Robert Roode is like really, really good. I just don't know what happened today, but I thought he was really good here. Honestly, I looked at this match the same as I looked at the Daniel Bryan Brie versus Miz and Maurice. I just knew that at some point he's going to have to tag in and it's going to be some fuckery, and then the match is over. Babyfaces win.
But luckily, it wasn't that long, right? So I mean, it was a pretty short match. As soon as we got to the Spinneroonie, I was like, "Oh man, are they about to end this?" And the thing that's funny is that the Spinneroonie got 0 reaction from the crowd here. No one gave a fuck about the Spinneroonie.
It's it's the people of Maine. You know how they do.
Yeah. They probably said, "Get this dancing shit out of here." Sharmell comes in after the tag. She's held back by Rude. A miscommunication leads to yet another roll-up finish. Not another, but yet, I mean, I'm thinking of Raw. Sorry, I'm always thinking of Raw in these roller finishes. So it wasn't another roller finish. It's actually a novel idea, but it was the second roller finish in the show. Don't get it.
Oh,
It
here
was,
we go.
it was what it was. I thought they did all they could do to hide the fact that Sharmell is not great in the ring. They didn't
Does
give her-
Does Charmel wrestle? Because I'm only familiar with her as a valet.
She did at one point. Yeah, she did.
Okay, so it's just like the wife occasionally wrestling.
Yes.
Okay, then I that's what I originally thought. So my expectations weren't high, and her rating on Cage Match is a 3.8, and I think that is very harsh. She's not a wrestler.
Yeah, that's terrible. But I mean, WCW, she did a lot of wrestling in WCW.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was rough. She was Paisley in WCW.
Yeah, I'm looking at her right now.
Yeah, she was with Prince Ikea. Rude threatens to hit Peyton Banks after the match, so that's cool.
When they started arguing in the ring and I saw him raise his arm, I said, please don't take it there. Don't take it there.
This ain't even not long ago. This is it's definitely not that long ago. Okay. So next up we get MMA fighter Marcus Davis speaking on training with Samoa Joe. Pretty routine promo here. And then we get the Lethal Lockdown vignette video package between Team Tomko and Team Cage. A lot of moving parts here. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I thought this match was really good until you notice when your eyes just like glance over somewhere else where they're all fighting on top of the cage, and then you can see all the old winded people just laying down on the ground. At the bottom of the cage. That's when I was just like, oh, this is why there's so much attention to the top. But I did like the steel cage structure, having the sort of like little vents so they could do all these crazy things up there. But it was whatever. Even the team leader, Tomko, he wasn't even like really a part of the finish. Like he was an afterthought. Once again, AJ Styles stealing the show.
Yeah, the structure of the Lethal Lockdown, you went a little bit ahead of me here.
Oh, my fault.
The whole match. I was gonna go through it and have fun with
it. Well, what else can be said if you want to talk about?
Well, let me launch the match. I mean, we didn't even get to talk about what the match was. Damn. The Lethal Lockdown match is basically TNA's version of War Games. Of course, they could not use the name of War Games, but you had Team Tomko, which Tyson Tomko, who was from WWE as well. AJ Styles, Team 3D. And James Storm versus Team Cage, Christian Cage, Sting, Rhino, Kevin Nash, and Matt Morgan. I mean, on paper, Team Tomko's team is way better than Team Cage's team. But I say Christian Cage, even though he had the worst entrance gear of all time, really made himself in TNA. And that's what I wanted to talk about was how I liked him in TNA. He was able to carve out his own lane away from Edge. And I thought that it was really, really cool that they gave him so many opportunities and that he was in these big programs and these big moments like this.
Yeah. He definitely played like the front runner for his team, especially towards the finish, which I already alluded to, my fault. But the rest of the team, like, I think Rhino got one spear in and that was it. Sting did like 2 moves. That was it. Kevin Nash walked. And Matt Morgan was just kind of whatever to me.
What was funny was that like these intervals were supposed to be 5 minutes, and then the first interval was 5 minutes, and the rest of it was like literally like 1 minute. Sometimes it like they like counted these intervals so strangely that it was very hard to get a grasp or really catch your breath as to who was coming in and who was coming out. So like every single time there would be somebody coming in, but I mean largely for this match there was a large stretch of people doing nothing, and I think that that's a big difference from the War Games matches in NXT. Where it's like maybe it's the illusion of the fact that they're doing something, but they let the intervals play out. They feel like actual handicap matches or 2-on-2 matches or 3-on-2 matches as they play out, but they actually feel like something's happening. In this match, it was like, you can't have Sting come out and then, the weapons finally come out into the ring and then he gets hit with like a kendo stick in the face and then he's out for the rest of the match. Like it was very weird.
Can't have that. And honestly, Team Cage is really just a whole bunch of old people that kind of just do like one spot and then they're kind of done. And I think that was like the large issue of this match.
Yeah. I mean, you had Devon like bleeding for no reason. I was like, what even cut you? He was like a lot. And I was like, bro, what the hell? When did he even get hurt? I was
My man was feeling it.
He was going legend, well, I mean, Matt Morgan taking a fucking unprotected chair shot for no reason. Again, very stupid.
And this is 2008, so I think this is definitely the period of time where that should have stopped.
Yeah, Matt Morgan taking that hit to the face. Now today he's a mayor. So yeah, just think about who you vote for sometimes. In the end, AJ sets up a ridiculous spot in the ladder on the top of the cage. One thing we didn't mention is that the top of the cage had it had actual top.
It had a lid. A
covering on, and once everyone was in the ring, the covering came down and there was a table and a ladder on top of it. AJ sets up the ladder and he and Christian fall to the table on the top of the cage. Thank God nobody was hurt here.
What is it? I believe they were trying to set up something with the table and one of their foot got caught. Like the cage started ripping and one of their foot got caught. I was just like, oh my God, please be safe. And then like they're still like trying to set up a table spot, and then Styles like sets up a ladder, and I'm just like, okay, there's going legend. This is something completely different.
Yeah, it was definitely like, okay, y'all shouldn't have did that, but I'm glad you're okay. Because it was very ill advised that they did that. But it ended with Rhino giving James Storm the gore and pinning him for the win. I thought it was a bit long. Like I said, there were long stretches of people doing nothing, but I thought that the final couple of spots were really, really cool. I gave it 3 stars.
Yeah. I'll give it 2.5. I did like a lot of the stuff that was done on top of the cage. And if you just ignore the bottom of the cage as AJ Styles is doing all that crazy stuff, like the match is like really insane.
Okay, so main event time. Karen Angle at ringside. Frank Trigg on commentary. My thing with Angle and Joe here before we start talking about the match is that I feel as though they kept Samoa Joe away from the title for way too long. And granted, I get that the road to him winning the title back to 2006, Angle was a bigger deal at the time. At the time, Samoa Joe had the undefeated streak. He was an X Division champion. He broke that record. Everyone was primed and ready for him to win the Impact Championship, but Kurt Angle signed and he became the priority. And I understand that because when you get somebody as big as Kurt Angle, you put all your chips behind him. It's happening 2 years after it should have, after Joe's taken so many losses, been made to be second and third and fourth fiddle for so long, when he was, next to AJ Styles, that homegrown star that, was it for them. I thought it was just such bad timing for this, even if the matches they had were really good.
Yeah. I didn't know that, but that does sound terrible. My only understanding of this match is that this match is like MMA esque. When it was first introduced to me. And honestly, this match is like kind of the blueprint for all the matches that I really love. Honestly, like Bloodsport, the Fight Pit. So outside of having that historical context, like this match is like Mount Rushmore in my mind.
Right. Yeah. It again, the moment you saw both of these motherfuckers in the ring together, that was the match. Right, it was Kurt against AJ Styles. It was Kurt against Samoa Joe. It was Kurt against all these people that we had never seen him before. Against before, like indie guys you would have never thought would get this chance. And Samoa Joe was that guy. People forget Samoa Joe was the biggest indie star at one point in time. 2005, 2006, he was the guy. Him, Punk, AJ, they were the guys. You know what I'm saying? And they were, coming up, like the indie run for Samoa Joe was so legendary, bro. So for him to even be in this spot was a big deal. You know what I mean? So we get a super special entrance for Joe. Big fight feel here. What did you think about the Joe entrance? How'd you feel about that?
When I first saw this match back in 2015, when I was just getting back into wrestling, yeah, this entrance was everything. It really did have that big fight feel, and I felt the intensity, and I would say it gave me the same intensity that I felt when I saw Daniel Bryan versus Takeshi Morishima. Just that vibe, like you could feel the energy, even though it's like old, like you could truly feel it, and it was really good.
Yeah. So after that, we get the Kurt Angle entrance. He's dressed like this is a real motherfucking UFC fight.
He about to kill Joe for real.
Yeah, it's a real ass fight here. When Kurt gets into the ring, he does something a little bit surprising. I want everybody to hear what Kurt does.
Get her out of here! Get her out of here! And you can see that we have security coming over to the guardrail.
Wow.
And he's asking his wife, Karen Angle, to leave the ringside area. Frank, is this a case where Kurt is so focused on Samoa Joe that he wants zero distractions?
Now, you have to understand, people say this is me, because Karen's going to support him, sit in the corner. But I have a deal with my wife, Nikki, that she's not allowed to see me from the moment we show up in the arena until the fight is over. With her being in the corner, right there by Kurt, on his side of the cage, it is a distraction to him. If he wants to leave, she needs to get up and get out. She has to get up and leave.
And you can see that.
Remember this. I love the don't fucking touch me that they didn't do.
Yeah, right? I was just about to say that. But that's why I think they were kind of like very deep into the Jeff Jarrett thing. But Kurt Angle said, no distractions. I'm here for the fight. That's all. And I thought it played up really well.
Yeah, it was don't fucking touch me. Don't fucking touch me. They let Kurt have all the damn deathmatch Kumite shit he wanted in TNA, huh? This is definitely a Kurt Angle concoction.
And this shit hard body. What is he talking about? This shit lit.
But the one thing I will say, I mean, other than Trig being really good on commentary, which the crowd can't hear, is that I felt like the crowd wasn't super into the UFC stuff in the beginning. They were very muted, very quiet for it. I don't think that they were expecting that.
Okay. I don't know. Because normally when I live tweet wrestling and then I don't do like a long string of tweets after, or tweet during the match, is because I'm like truly invested. I'm like really focused. I don't want to say maybe the crowd was just like really focused and into it, but this match is really good nonetheless.
You could say that. You could say that, but I think there was a clear distinction between how loud they got at the end to how loud they got, during the match. And I think that, there's definitely a correlation there between it was slow. It's a very slow going match. There's a lot of holds. There's a lot of locks and submissions that are locked in for a very long time, longer than any regular match. And the pacing to me was great. I liked it, but I felt like the crowd was definitely, they were waiting for the high spots. And
they were definitely taken aback and waiting for a kind of like a third gear. But this is like, for real, just like some true mat-based wrestling technician brawler type shit, really.
Yeah. Huge lariat by Joe at one point that has Kurt doing a backflip onto his neck. That's not heat, knowing what happened.
Heat rock.
Muscle Buster reverse into the ankle lock is a very cool spot that I really enjoyed.
I miss the Muscle Buster so much, but I understand why it was taken away.
You can't do that. I actually don't see anybody doing the Muscle Buster anymore.
Yeah, everybody just does Canadian destroyers now.
Yeah, I've actually seen a lot less of those too.
I'm seeing a lot less of those, but I'm seeing a lot more of planchas, which is like an incredibly dull move, and I just don't get it.
Everyone's doing the plancha. Everybody.
I don't get it.
They did this match a lot of favors though by allowing some of these spots to get time and breathe. I like the figure 4 spot. That lasted for a couple minutes. I like the STF spot, and I like Frank Trigg, exposing, explaining why this move hurts so much and what it's focusing on, which is like the neck and the shoulders and stuff like that. I really thought that he added a lot to it. Him and Mike Tenay were spectacular on the call in this match.
This commentary, like this booth during this match, is pretty elite.
It was really good. There was a really good fall with Joe in the ankle lock. I really enjoyed the ankle lock reverse into the coquina clutch. These reversals in the last 10 minutes of the match where I was on the edge of my seat. I really liked Kurt using the ref to get to the ropes. That was a really cool spot as well.
Yeah, classic, and it is really good. Man, I just watching this, I was just like looking back before I ever like truly tweeted about wrestling and all this shit, and I was just like, just looking at this match was like marvelous, bro. Like this match is like everything. I really like this match, man. So you already know what kind of score I'm about to give it.
Joe throws Kurt to the cage, which again, I popped for the cage spot because they did not use the cage during this whole match. They didn't use it. They were using the ropes. They were using, the mat. They were using all this stuff. They never used the cage, but Joe said, you know what? I have to get brutal in order to win this. He throws Kurt to the cage. He then gives him the muscle buster and wins the match. I gave it 4 and a fourth. This match fucking ruled. I loved it.
Man, it's the hard 5. this match truly is like the blueprint for all the matches that I truly really love. Like obviously there's like people that have done it before him, and when I watch those matches now, I'm just like, yeah, man, this match definitely catered my taste towards the extreme like violence or like Pancrest or whatever style, Demiro Suzuki type shit. So, hey, this match is the blueprint. So I have to give it the 5.
Yes. This match was voted by TNA in the Year End Awards. It was named their match of the year. Do you agree?
Absolutely.
It was definitely they pulled out all the stops. I think for a show. It was to me. This was it's a one match show to me.
Yeah, well, my mileage may vary if you want to see like the Lethal Lockdown steel cage match, but honestly, you could just watch this and just like be good, be straight. I think even the opener is something that you want to see if you ever want to watch this back.
Yeah, I do the first and the last match on this. Do you? So this is my favorite part of the show. I know this is your favorite part of the show too. The history. Do you want to know what happened after this?
Oh yeah, hit me with it.
So Kurt Angle got injured. That's why I'm saying that you don't want to say heat because I'm pretty sure this is where he got injured at. He got injured, and so he was not able to have the rematch with Joe at Victory Road. So Joe was then he had to face Booker T at Victory Road. It went to a no contest when Sting hit Joe with a baseball bat, and Booker pinned him, and Sharmell made the 3 count. So already going pretty well for Samoa Joe in his first title reign, right?
Jesus Christ.
At Hard Justice, after that, Joe defeated Booker after a guitar shot, reclaiming his title belt, which, of course, I forgot to mention, Booker took his title after Victory Road because Booker claimed that he was the actual champion of TNA.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Really fun. And then at Bound for Glory 4, he fought Sting and got beat by Sting, and his reign ended at 182 days. It was his first and only TNA heavyweight title win.
Man, Sting really just ruining wrestling.
Yeah, I gotta say, and it goes into what I said earlier was that it was really a shame that we had to wait so long to get this title reign, because at that point so many things that had passed him. There were so many things that Joe had already done. He was a Triple Crown champion at that point. There was also so many things that he just couldn't do. I mean, you had Joe facing Booker T and Sting, and not the guys that you really wanted him to be facing. And I think the Kurt injury really ruined a lot of things for him, and really kind of put a damper on his first reign as champion.
I definitely think like them not going back to a lot of their, I guess I would say, homegrown stars, really hindered it, because they were just like, let's just go to the next big acquisition that we have, which was Booker T. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, Joe wouldn't be too far away from the top of the card. Joe and AJ Styles, they formed a group of wrestlers called the Front Line to oppose the Main Event Mafia. I don't know if you heard about them. They were a pretty infamous stable.
I'm familiar, which I don't like to dive too much into Impact history.
Yeah, Kurt Angle, Sting, Kevin Nash, Booker T, Scott Steiner. Nash beat Joe at one point. And
would that eventually lead into the promo that he has live on pay-per-view where he like talks all his shit? When Scott Hall doesn't show up? Samoa Joe.
I believe so. Yeah. I think that led to there was a I think it might have been the 6 Eyes of Steel match. I'm gonna find it now. But I mean, Joe would be injured at the end of the year. and he would come back with the Nation of Violence, with the face paint and all that stuff, and Taz would come back, and yeah, yeah, it was a weird point, but yeah, that was Lockdown 2008. It wasn't a bad show. I didn't have a issue watching it. Not as bad as Victory Road. I think that was a chore to get through, but this one was pretty cool to watch. I got through it in 2 sittings. Cyrus, I want to do a very special episode before the end of the year, if we can.
Well, if you show up.
I want to make it up to everyone. Well, the thing is, I have to show up because I'm the one who has the damn DVD. So we have to we have to watch it. I want to watch Final Battle 2006, which is headlined by Bryan Danielson versus Homicide.
I know you're a big Homicide fan, so
yes, I'm a huge Homicide fan. He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I don't think a lot of people know that, but he's definitely somebody that is near and dear to my heart from my love of the indie scene in the mid 2000s. I want to watch this DVD and I want to watch it with you. So let's do a live watch of Spot Callers. First time ever where we watch a DVD live, and we give our commentary as it's going.
Sure. No problem. I definitely think we could do that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, it'll be one last gift for 2020 for you guys. 2 episodes of Spot Caller, just from me to you, making it up to you guys for no November episode. Let's do that. Let's put this out. What's the date here? Let's put it out maybe after Christmas.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, around that week, maybe week after, whatever. We can do it. We can do whenever. I don't have a life, That's the whole point.
Life is slowing down as the new year starts. Boy, hit me with that vaccine, boy.
Here we go. But as always, thank you guys for listening to Spot Callers. You can follow us at A Show RNC for all the latest and greatest from the A Show network, including the A Show, of course, Cyrus's The War Report, Spot Callers, which you're listening to right now, Rewriters Room, and me and Cyrus we're coming up with a New Japan show as well pretty soon. So yeah, of course. Yeah. Oh my God, you make me sick. Anyway, we're going to be coming out with that soon. There'll be more information on that to come. But yeah, thank you guys for listening to Spot Callers. We'll see you back in about a week and a half for Final Battle 2006. For Cyrus, I am Justin. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you later.